Look at your phone right now. Count how many apps you're paying for monthly that you didn't open once last week. Think about how many food delivery orders you placed this month. Remember the last time you bought something because it looked good, not because you needed it. Now add all of that up, that number is making you poorer every single day, and you barely notice it happening. I'm not talking about the big financial mistakes, buying the wrong house, a bad investment that went south. I'm talking about the small, ordinary, familiar expenses so normal you never stop to calculate what they actually cost across a year, across a decade, across an entire working life. And here's what I need to say directly. Many things that were reasonable choices 5 years ago have quietly transformed into financial traps engineered to extract your money systematically. Prices changed, business models changed, your spending habits didn't. This video covers 12 things that are no longer worth what you're paying for them. Not because they're bad, but because when you look at the real numbers, you'll see you're paying a price that doesn't match what you're getting back. Let's start with number 1, food delivery apps. You know the feeling. You're working, tired, don't want to cook. You open the app, pick a few items, tap order. Convenient. Fast. Reasonable. Until you look at last month's statement and realize you ordered 17 times and can't account for where the money went. Here's exactly why that keeps happening and why it costs far more than you think. Delivery platforms charge restaurants commission fees between 15 and 30% on every order. Restaurants don't absorb that cost. They pass it directly to customers through inflated menu prices. Studies consistently find that prices on delivery apps run approximately 25% higher than the same items purchased in-store or at the restaurant. That's before delivery fees, service fees, small order fees if you don't hit the minimum threshold, and the driver tip. A meal that costs $12 at the restaurant can easily reach $22 through the app. That's an 83% markup for the privilege of not driving 10 minutes. Someone ordering delivery twice a week at a $15 premium per order spends an extra $1,500 annually on convenience. That money invested at 8% annual returns for 20 years becomes approximately $7,800. You're trading a long-term nest egg for the comfort of staying on the couch. The occasional delivery order makes complete sense. The twice-a-week habit is a wealth transfer from your bank account to tech company shareholders. Number 2, new cars. The moment you drive a new car off the dealership lot, it loses approximately 20% of its value. On a $48,000 vehicle close to the average new car price right now, that's $9,600 evaporating in the time it takes to reach the first stoplight. By the end of year 1, depreciation typically hits 25 to 30%. You've lost more than a year's rent for many Americans in the first 12 months of ownership. 5-year-old cars occupy a sweet spot that new car buyers consistently ignore. They've already absorbed the steepest depreciation. They don't typically need major repairs yet. Modern vehicles easily run 150 to 200,000 miles with basic maintenance. Buy a reliable 5-year-old car, drive it for 3 or 4 years, sell it before major repairs become likely. The depreciation during your ownership is minimal compared to what new car buyers experience. You can often sell for close to what you paid. Research on millionaire behavior is consistent on this point. The typical millionaire drives a Toyota, Honda, or Ford. The median price they pay for a vehicle is around $31,000. They understand that transportation is a utility, not a status symbol. New cars are financial sinkholes dressed up as lifestyle upgrades. Number 3, sit-down restaurants. Restaurant prices have increased 35% since 2019, according to Bureau of Labor Statistics data. A hamburger at a casual sit-down spot now costs $16 to $22 in most markets. 2 people out for a decent dinner with drinks can easily spend $100 to $140. That same meal cost $50 to $60 5 years ago. The value proposition has completely inverted. Prices doubled, portions shrank, service in many cases declined. Drinks are where the restaurant model really extracts money. A $14 cocktail uses $2 worth of ingredients. A $4 soda costs the restaurant about 15 cents. Restaurants survive on beverage margins. Every time you add drinks to the order, you're subsidizing the part of the business with the highest markup. A family spending $200 weekly on dining out, not unusual in expensive markets, spends $10,400 annually. That same family could eat extraordinarily well at home for $600 a month, saving over $3,000 a year, while likely eating healthier. Celebration meals have genuine value beyond the food. The weekly restaurant habit, at current prices, has become economically irrational for most households. Number 4. Stacked streaming subscriptions. Remember why you cut cable? Too expensive? Too many channels you never watched? Just a few streaming platforms at $8 a month would give you everything you needed. That math is dead. Netflix Standard Plan, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV Plus, Spotify, YouTube Premium. Subscribing to all the major services now costs over $100 monthly. That's $1,200 annually more than many people paid for cable. The platforms deliberately fragment content to force multiple subscriptions. The show you want moved from Netflix to a service you don't have. The sports package requires yet another add-on. This fragmentation is intentional. They're rebuilding the cable bundle you escaped, except now you pay separately for each piece. The solution requires discipline most people refuse to apply. Subscribe to one service, watch everything you want on that platform, cancel, subscribe to the next one. Rotate instead of stacking. This approach costs $12 to $18 monthly instead of $75. You still access all the content. You just access it sequentially rather than simultaneously. Number 5, fast food. Fast food used to be cheap food. That equation no longer holds. A basic combo meal at McDonald's costs $12 to $15 in most markets. Fast food prices have increased 55% since 2019. The value proposition was never about health, everyone understood that. The value proposition was convenience at low cost. Remove the low cost, and you're left with convenient, nutritionally poor food at premium prices. For $15, you can prepare a genuinely nutritious meal at home in 20 minutes. The fast food habit costs the average regular customer $3,000 to $5,000 annually. That's money spent actively working against your health while enriching corporations that have discovered you'll pay whatever they charge. Number 6, latest generation tech. The newest iPhone costs approximately $1,200. It takes marginally better photos than the phone you already own. It runs the same apps at roughly the same speed. The marginal improvement between smartphone generations has collapsed to near zero for average users. The iPhone 16 versus the iPhone 13 offers almost nothing a typical person would notice in daily use. Yet millions of people pay $1,200 annually for imperceptible upgrades. The smart approach? Buy technology 1 or 2 generations behind the latest release. A refurbished iPhone 14 costs half what a new iPhone 16 costs. It does everything you actually need a phone to do. Someone buying new flagship phones every 2 years spends approximately $600 annually on depreciation alone. That money invested over a career compounds into tens of thousands of dollars spent on photos that are 3% sharper. Number 7, expensive weddings. The average American wedding now costs approximately $35,000. That's $35,000 for a single day, one party, 6 hours of your life. Research from Emory University found that couples who spend $50,000 or more on weddings are 46% more likely to divorce than couples who spend less than $10,000. The wedding industry has perfected emotional manipulation. Everything costs more when the word wedding is attached. A photographer charges double for wedding photos versus family portraits. Flowers triple in price. You're not paying for higher quality, you're paying for the label. A meaningful ceremony doesn't require financial devastation. The marriage matters more than the party celebrating it. If you can afford a $35,000 wedding from savings without impacting retirement contributions, emergency funds, or other financial goals, spend what you want. But If that money is going on credit cards or delaying a house down payment, you're trading long-term security for short-term spectacle. The photographs don't pay dividends. Number 8. Travel beyond your means. Travel has genuine value. Experiences create memories in ways material purchases don't. The problem isn't travel itself. It's travel that exceeds what your finances can actually support. The average American can't cover a $1,000 emergency expense, according to Bankrate data. Yet, many of those same Americans take multi-$1,000 vacations funded by credit cards. The dopamine of the vacation today becomes the stress of debt payments for years afterward. Budget travel provides most of the experience at a fraction of the cost. Road trips instead of flights, Airbnbs instead of resort hotels, walking tours instead of expensive excursions. Travel within your means creates genuine enjoyment. Travel beyond your means creates credit card statements that outlast the memories. Number 9. Buy now, pay later financing. Affirm, Klarna, Afterpay. These services have made financing available for virtually everything: a $50 pair of shoes, a $30 skincare product. The pitch sounds reasonable. Split your purchase into 4 payments, no interest if you pay on time. The reality is more complicated. Research shows that buy now, pay later users spend 10 to 40% more than they would paying up front. The psychological trick is simple. A $200 purchase feels expensive. 4 payments of $50 feels manageable. Your brain processes the smaller number and ignores the total. Nearly 40% of buy now, pay later users have missed at least one payment, according to Federal Reserve Bank survey data. Late fees stack up. The free financing becomes expensive debt. The older wisdom remains valid. If you can't pay cash for something, you can't afford it. Exceptions exist for houses and sometimes cars, assets with utility that lasts years. But financing a hoodie, financing a blender, that's debt for consumption, the worst kind. Number 10. Branded products with equivalent generics. A bottle of Tide laundry detergent costs $12 to $15. The store brand version, often manufactured in the same facility, costs $6 to $8. The cleaning performance is virtually identical. Consumer reports testing consistently finds that store brands match or exceed name brand quality in most categories. The generic ibuprofen contains the same active ingredient at the same concentration as Advil for half the price. Household spending on consumer packaged goods averages $5,000 to $7,000 annually. Switching from name brands to store brands across the board saves 25 to 40%. That's $1,500 to $2,500 back in your pocket every year for products that perform identically. Number 11. Subscription boxes. The subscription box industry has grown into a $32 billion market. Boxes for makeup, snacks, dog toys, books, clothes you didn't choose. The model exploits a simple psychological principle. People love surprises. The dopamine hit of opening a mystery package triggers the same reward circuits as gambling. The math rarely works in your favor. A typical box costs $25 to $50 monthly. The products inside are worth less than that at retail. That's how the companies make their margins. You're paying premium prices for random items someone else selected, many of which you don't actually want. If you genuinely want specific products, buying them directly costs less. The boxes aren't saving you money. They're building business models on psychological triggers. Number 12. Premium coffee drinks as a daily habit. A pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks costs $7 to $9 in most markets. Coffee at home costs approximately 25 to 50 cents per cup for quality beans. The daily $6 drink costs $2,190 annually. Someone who makes coffee at home for 50 cents daily spends $182.50 per year. The difference is over $2,000 annually for the same caffeine. Invested at 8% returns over 30 years, that $2,000 annual savings becomes approximately $245,000. $250,000 for making coffee at home instead of standing in line. The premium coffee shops aren't selling coffee. They're selling experience, convenience, and social signaling. Understanding this doesn't make it wrong, but it does clarify what you're actually paying for. Most people haven't done the math. The habit formed before the calculation happened. The 12 categories in this video share common features. They exploit convenience, status, psychology, and inertia. They've risen in price while declining in value. They depend on people not running the numbers. Running the numbers changes everything. Each category represents thousands of dollars annually. Combine several, and you're looking at $10,000 to $20,000 in annual spending that delivers minimal lasting satisfaction. That same money invested consistently builds wealth that actually improves your life, not someday after retirement, now by progressively removing financial pressure. Look back at your phone. This time, count how many things from today's list you're paying for right now, and ask yourself one honest question. If you stopped 3 of them next month, where would that money go? If it went into an investment account instead of consumption, what does your life look like in 10 years? 2 versions of you 10 years from now are being determined by the small things you're spending on repeatedly without anyone ever asking whether you actually want them. Which version do you want? Leave a comment with one thing from today's list you're going to cut or change this month. I want to read your real answer. And subscribe if you want to keep running the real numbers together.